Where do the clouds go, baby? I don't know. Maybe they'll be back tomorrow, we won't know. How many times do I have to tell you?
Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I saw a TikTok that I can't find anymore that basically said that the reason that people are so down lately is because they can't experience anything new. And if that doesn't hit the nail right on the head, then I don't know what does. Gone are the days of meeting new people, going on vacations, and visiting art galleries. Creatively, I felt drained pretty much this whole year, and I've talked a bit about that on my channel, but I want to talk about it even more. I'm not really having new thoughts or experiencing new things to have those new thoughts, and I'll be honest, I miss the spontaneity of normal life. I miss my friends asking me if I want to go out for a drink with them or go see a rugby game or go out for dinner. And because I can't really create these new experiences right now, I feel like I settled into a rut. So I spent the last 2 weeks basically just doing new things. I tried cooking new recipes. I went on long walks to places I don't know very well. I found new artists to be inspired by. And to my literal surprise, this actually helped. I felt like this was the missing link for me, and it feels like my brain actually reset. So I'm feeling a bit better, and since I was feeling really good this week, I decided to work on a painting. Hello, it's voiceover Sarah here. So I just wanted to explain a bit about what I'm doing and the different things that I think about while I'm making my pieces. Right now I'm just unstretching canvas so I can use the frame for a new painting. I'm trying to be careful so I don't rip the painting. I really enjoy preparing my own surfaces. I like being the one to stretch my own canvas, gesso the surface, and if I had my own space and equipment, I would probably make my own frames as well. After I get the canvas off the frame, I can roll it up and store it like that until I'm ready to stretch it on a new frame. It's also really important to remove the staples from the frame. Anything that's sticking out should be removed first so you don't hurt yourself. I always take out the rest of the staples as well so they don't get in the way later on when I'm using the staple gun. It's also important to clean up afterwards so there's no loose staples on the ground to step on. Once I finish that, I begin measuring how much canvas I'm going to use. One of my favorite parts of this process is ripping the canvas. I also just love the sound it makes. It's so satisfying. 99% of the time it usually rips in a straight line, and it's much easier and faster to rip it than to cut it. Now it's time to begin stretching. Please enjoy these random faces I didn't know I make when I stretch canvas.
You're all I'll ever need. How can I explain the way you make me feel? All that I can say is I know you like you know.
After I've dramatically stretched my canvas, I put a generous amount of water on the top and sides of the canvas. This creates more tension and a tighter canvas. I find that the tighter my canvas is, the easier it is to paint on. It's now time to move on to gessoing. For this painting, I wanted to mix embroidery and oil paint together. In order for me to do this, I need to keep a few things in mind. It is really difficult to embroider over gesso. The canvas gets really tough and stiff, and sticking a needle through that repeatedly is not only difficult but painful. It's also really important to seal the surface of the canvas before painting. Sealing the surface protects the canvas from the paint. If I didn't seal the surface, the painting wouldn't be able to stand the test of time. It'll yellow, and eventually the paint will begin to eat the canvas itself. My solution for this is to do a mix of water and gesso for my first layer. It ensures that the whole area of the painting is sealed. The watered down gesso is still flexible enough for me to comfortably embroider on. I then draw with watercolor pencil crayon. I really try to make my drawing as accurate as possible before I go in with embroidery. If I make a mistake in my drawing and want to change something later on, I won't be able to unless I take out the stitches, and I want to avoid doing that at all costs. I mentioned in another one of my videos that I enjoy going through old photographs for references for paintings. I found a picture of my father and his sister, and I just love the feeling I got from the photograph. A big factor in me choosing a reference for a painting has more to do with the feeling I get from the photo than from how it aesthetically looks. I wish I could better describe how I choose photographs, but I think the best way I can describe it is if a photograph looks candid and I get a genuine feeling from the people in the photograph, then that's kind of something that speaks to me. One of the reasons I feel like I gravitate towards embroidery is because it's a really meditative process, much like painting actually. I can get lost in my thoughts and I feel like the rest of the world doesn't exist. It's just me stitching. I don't really know a lot about embroidery, to be perfectly honest. I know some basic stitches, but nothing crazy. I also vary my stitches as I go. I know I'm not supposed to do that. I'll start with like a back stitch sometimes and then randomly do something else. I try to do what makes sense to me and what feels natural, but I think it would be fun to practice embroidery more just so I could get a better feeling for it. I also find it really difficult to keep the back of the piece clean. It's good not to jump around too much and waste thread, but the backs of my pieces are always a mess. It's not good to have loose threads or to have knots or anything like that. I'm working on that and I'm trying my best to keep it as clean and tidy as possible. I also find it so hypnotizing to just watch the thread be pulled through the hole. I don't know why, but I feel like it's so satisfying for me.
You go like you know me, let's run away together, go and live by the sea, yeah. I know a place and it's pretty far away where we could leave tomorrow and be there by Saturday. Well, it is pretty simple, but that is all we need. We would have each other and live.
What I'm doing here is called a French knot. Basically what I'm doing is wrapping the thread around the needle 3 times. You can wrap more than 3, but I just decided on 3 as a number. Then you just pull the thread through the canvas. I really like doing these because they look so pretty and they pop out of the canvas. I used this technique for the ornaments in the tree and I just love the way it turned out.
Shoes and dresses, who needs them when you have your bikini and the clear ocean, and when the sun ain't watching and the moon's out too, we could.
Sometimes I mix my colors before I started painting and sometimes I mix my colors as I go. I decided to do this beforehand so I could quickly block in larger areas and get a good sense of what color palette I would be working within. Something I think about a lot while painting is trying to convey that genuine feeling that I was talking about earlier. I want my painting to contain the same feeling I felt when looking at it, and it's not always easy to find a way to make that come across. I really try to focus on facial expressions and body language to communicate that. I tried my best not to get any paint on the embroidered parts, but it was really difficult.
What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? We could have it all, we could have it all. When will we let go? When will we let go of all the little...
I wanted to do some impasto strokes on this painting. Impasto just means applying the paint thickly to the canvas. I thought it would be interesting to do this so that it would become difficult to distinguish what was embroidery and what was painting.
Like 2 leather bags, leave footprints on the beach as we walk through the sand. We'll grow old like 2 leather bags, let the sun kiss our skin as we run hand in hand. We'll grow old like 2 leather bags, leave footprints on the beach as we walk through the sand. Yeah. We'll grow old like 2 leather bags, let the sun kiss our skin as we run hand in hand. Yeah.
Light turns to dust. I'm down to nothing.
I got to a point in my painting where I felt like my photographic reference was more interesting than my painting. And I personally think if you're painting from a photographic reference, you need to do something with the paint that the photograph can't do. Photography and painting are different mediums, and they say different things when you use them. Photography can mimic painting, and painting can mimic photography, but I think it's more interesting when you work with what your medium can do than work against it. I think it's beautiful to accentuate brushstrokes and show the nuances of painting. Knowing the difference between copying a photograph and how to interpret a photograph, I think is something I wish I knew as a younger artist. Sometimes you need to listen to a painting and see what it tells you.
Change the things I've done, so all I have is an seizure.
And that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys like this video, then give it a like. If you want to subscribe, then subscribe. And I will see you guys next week for I don't know what yet, but I will see you guys next week. Bye.
I drift into another zone. The devil that you know is better than the devil that you don't. Oh, the devil that you don't. Oh, the devil that you all alone. I drift into another zone.